get 15 or 20 done. The key is you get 60 done a month. You want to invite at least 60 people a month to take a look at the business. Now, it's going to take you about 2.5 hours a week to do that. I think, frankly, you can do it less of that time, but at least 2.5 hours, that's a maximum. What do? Well, warm market, cold market, referral market. What's the tool that you use? That recorded phone overview that Todd talked about. I think that's the most powerful way to introduce the business to anybody. Why would you want to give them a CD that's 35 or 40 minutes long, or send them to a website, or sit down with them for heck's sake? You don't want to get involved in investing a ton of time with somebody until they've passed one of the filters. And number one filter is, do these people have a dream? Because people that don't have a dream, people that are stuck in a rut, they won't even take 5 minutes to look at something. But people who have a dream, people who have a desire, people who at least say, you know, I don't want to be doing this the rest of my life. Maybe, just maybe, what this person gave me is something for me. Those are the people you're looking for. And so you give them the number and say, call this, and I'll get back to you tomorrow, see what you think. Or if it's a cold situation, call this. My number's on the other side of that card. Give me a call back if you're interested. The idea is just get 3 of those done a day, or 2 a day if you're doing it 30 days a week, or a month, or 60 times a month. Just make sure you're out there, like Jan Bloom said, you're out there promoting your business. Like Ron Thompson said, you're not a secret agent. You don't want to be undercover here. You want to be out there exposing the business to at least 60 fresh new people every single month. It's easy to do. Frankly, I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. I'll do it 3 times on the way home to Utah tonight. Okay? It's that easy. You make sure I have the number, okay, Todd? And I'll do it 3 times. In fact, I'll do it 3 times before I get to Denver and change planes. And then, you know what? Kurt's with me. He's an accountant. Kurt, we'll do it 3 more times. We'll do it 6 times tonight. Okay? Just on the way back to Salt Lake. It's that easy. It's a walk in the park. You see somebody do something good, you say, you know, I was impressed with the way you handled that situation. You might be successful in my business. Why don't you listen to that number, that call on that number, and give me a call back tomorrow? You know, it's that simple to do. The key thing is exposure, 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 exposure. You don't know who's going to win. The bottom line is, none of us know who the winners are going to be until they actually win. I had to sponsor over 100 people to become successful. Todd did it on 43. Frankly, he's a better trainer than I will ever be. And besides, I'm just totally a hopeless romantic. I think everybody that I meet is going to become successful. And I've never been able to turn anybody down yet. I just assume they're all going to win. Now I've been disappointed a lot. But it doesn't change the fact that the next person I think they're going to win again. All right, let's move on quick. I'm sorry, I've got to hurry so fast. So here's the effect of 3 invites per day. You're going to invite 3 a day. That's 15 a week, 60 a month, 720 a year. Now what does that mean? That means you're going to have some exposures going on that are going to yield some things to you. Step number 3, step number 2, they're going to yield informs. What does it inform? That's when you follow up with somebody. That's where you're getting an information pack to them. You're going to do a 3-way phone call with them. It's going to take you about 4.5 hours a week to do 3 informs a week. The information model is pretty much up to you, but if it were me, I would send anybody that listened to that 5-minute overview and had an interest, I would send them an information pack and set up a time for them to be 3-wayed on to one of the calls on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. That's the way I would do it. Now, in the olden days, the way we did it is we got them an audio cassette, or we brought them to a weekly presentation, or we did a 3-way phone call, or we did a 2-on-1. But the way I would do it today, our world is so busy, so fast-paced. I mean, it's real easy. Send them an information packet, you know, a CD, and maybe Dr. Speak Out, or Dr. Brezhnev's thing, or one of Jan's things. You send them that, a couple of brochures, and then you get on the phone with them, and you 3-way them into the Tuesday night, Wednesday night, or Thursday night call. That's how you give the step 2. Step number, and here's the effects of that. Now, you see see that process there? Let me back up here. I want to see that again. All right. See what happens here. Whoa. Interesting. So we had 144 people out of the 720 that dropped into our partner funnel. And the other 584 or 564, They dropped into our customer funnel because we're not going to give up on anybody. Just because they said no to meeting with us, we still want to sell them the product. You see what Todd said? We default into the product sale. We go and we pitch the business. We talk about the business. We want to create leverage. But when they say no to getting together, then we want to talk to them about the product. Let's sell them some product. All right, now, the step 3 in the 3 threes is we want to enroll 3 people a month in the business. Now, the first tendency for people when they hear this is they say, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with 36 people a year joining my front line? Don't worry about it. You won't have to deal with it. Most of the people that come into the business don't have the drive to finish the job. I'm here to tell you, that's the way it is. Welcome to planet Earth. There's 3 things you got to have. Number 1, you got to have a dream to even take a look. Number 2, you got to have the discipline to follow through. And number 3, you got to have the drive to finish. You got to have the drive to finish. I was in my office Thursday afternoon. I got a phone call. A guy said, my name is Ricky Smith. Do you remember me? I says, I don't, Ricky. He says, well, maybe if I told you what you told me, you'd remember me. And I'm thinking, where's this conversation going? And he says, you said to me about 7 years ago that if you could trade places with me on age, you would give me every tangible financial asset you have. I'm thinking, I'm still wondering where this conversation's going. And basically what he was saying that I said to him is that, boy, if I could trade places with you, I'd give you all my money, all my net worth, if I could keep my brain and go into your body. Wouldn't that be something? To take a 45-year-old so with all that experience and I said, you must have been very young. He said, I was 18 years old. And he says, I stayed with the business just a couple of years and then I quit. And I says, your problem was maturity, wasn't it? He says, yeah, I wasn't very mature. He says, but you know what? I've gotten more mature. I want to get back in the business. You see, he got drive somewhere along the way. So you can meet people and they can have the dream but not the discipline. You can meet people and they can have the dream, the discipline, but not the drive. But as Jan says, don't close the door because you know what? Life changes people. Circumstances change. People who didn't have it here can have it here. Now, unfortunately, people who had it here cannot have it here. Life changes people. The fact of the matter is, don't ever give up on anybody because the opportunity is that they're going to change and become good. The time required is about 2 hours a week to enroll 3 people a month. Okay, now let's look what happens here again. Some magic. All right, so 36 people out of our 144 joined us in the business, which left 108 to go into our customer funnel. Now let's look at that a little closer. So we invited 720 people to take a look at the business. 144 of those people had a dream and were willing to take a look at the business, and 576 ended up in the customer funnel. Out of the 144, 36 had the discipline to join us, and 108 ended up in the customer funnel, which ended up being, 684 people in the customer funnel, with 36 people in the partner funnel. And then 6 of them had the drive to finish, and 30 of them ended up as wholesale consumers and 20 preferred customers, and you got 50 people generating revenue on